Hi guys, welcome to this Python for beginners course, and in this video I'm gonna teach you guys everything that you need to know about Python and the Python programming language. You're gonna learn everything from the basics to intermediate and to advanced coding practices that are in Python or that Python supports. So yeah, we're gonna cover everything in between, not trying to miss out on anything that's important as it comes to Python. We'll try and run through the general syntax or the basics, and then we'll add in slowly and gradually we'll add in so that we can move to advanced level programming and the syntax that you guys will be using mostly in advanced programming in Python. Yes guys, so to get started you just need to have Python installed on your computer or laptop. Have Python installed. It doesn't matter what operating system you guys are running. You can be running Windows, Mac OS, or anything. I'm on Linux. You can run anything, it still works. You just need to install Python, and also you have download a text editor that you guys will be using for editing text files. Download one so that you guys can be able to write code in. As for me, I have my own text editor here. It's the name is Micro. You don't have to download this. There are other alternatives for you guys. If you're on Windows, you can download especially Sublime Text, or Visual Studio Code will work fine on Windows, but I recommend Sublime Text for Windows users because it does not require too much RAM and processor and all that. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's also really good. Yes guys, so whatever text editor you have, assuming you have Python installed, and you can open up your command prompt or terminal and type in Python. If you see something like that, it means that you got Python installed, and then we can start writing the code. So we're gonna start out with hello world. What's the smallest program you can write in Python? Well, I'll just call this the name of the file. I'll just call it devots.py. You can call it anything you want, the name of the file, it doesn't really matter. So this is the name of the file we'll be working in, and let's get started guys. So we have that, and now we can start writing the codes. For the simplest program, Python is it keeps things really easy. For example, let's say you wanna write something, or you wanna display something to the screen. What do? Well, you do that to a simple one line of code. You can just write here print, and then the word that you want to print out to the screen. For example, let's just print hello world. So that's what we have there, and then if you run that, you can see that it prints out there on the terminal. As you can see my terminal here, it says here hello world. So that's the simplest basic program that you can write in Python, only one line of code. Python is really good in that scenario, in that it's really easy to get a program up and running. If you're using something like C++, it will take you 4 lines of code or even 5 lines of code so that you could just print something on the screen. But then with Python, you can only do that in only 1 line of code, which is really easy, and it makes it really fast when you want to write some programs really fast and get it done. So as you can see, that's the first script we're going to write. I'm just going to comment it out. And this is in programming, this is called a comment. Now you can see that my text appears as green. So it appears as green, it's because I've commented that line out. So that's how you write a comment. So what is a comment? A comment in programming is just a line, or it's a string, it's a line of code that does not do anything. So this does not do anything. So it's just a line of code that doesn't do anything. As long as you put a hashtag, start with a hashtag, and whatever you write here, it will not do anything. This one, the interpreter will not interpret this as code, so it will just pass this. Whenever it sees this green text, it just passes over it. So that's a comment, and that's how you write a comment in Python. So you just put a hashtag and then the text that you want to write. These comments are very useful, especially when it comes to writing code, and then you want to explain what this code is doing. For example, let's say there's someone you wanting to understand what your code is doing, so you could just write a comment on top of the code. You can just write this, for example, it prints hello world on the screen. So as you can see there, someone reading this code will be able to know, okay, that this program, what it actually does, it prints out hello world on the screen. Yeah, so you'll be able to know based on that what that comment is saying there. So comments are really nice, they're really useful. You see me use them all the time. And whenever I comment, even if it's a piece of code, as you can see, it turns green. So that means if I try and run this program, it won't do anything. As you can see, it just press to continue, but it doesn't actually print anything. So yeah, a comment doesn't do anything. It's just used for you to know what a piece of code is doing. So it's kind of like you're documenting what the code is actually doing. Yeah. So now we can move on to something else in programming, and this is basics of what we are going to be using every time. Let's move on to something called variables in programming. Now, what are variables, or what is a variable when it comes to the context of programming? Well, a variable is just a container. You can be thought of as a container that's used to store things inside of it. And it can be anything. It can store anything. For example, let's call it X. You remember this from school, secondary school or something like that. You say X equals 2, and maybe Y equals 5. All these ones, X and Y, they're called variables. So that means they're storing something in them. Yeah, so you can even store your name. Let's just say your name equals to Mike or anything else. Yeah, so as you can see there, if you want to store a name, what you do, you put quotes, just like we did in the hello world. You put these double quotes there, and your name there, and what it does, it takes this name, puts it in a container called name. So you can see, so here it's also the same. It takes this 2 and puts it in a container called X. It takes this 5, puts it in a container called Y. Now if you try and run this program, it's not gonna do anything. The reason is because we've just stored these values. But then if you want to see them on the screen, what do? We need to print it. So to print, it's actually to display things. So you can print X, and then you can print Y, and then you can print name. So if you do that, what's it gonna do? It's gonna print these things out. It's gonna say, okay, what's inside of X? It sees there's a 2, so it's gonna print 2 first, and then it comes here, it says, okay, I want to print Y, but what's inside of Y? It sees that inside of Y there's a 5, so it will print out 5 on the next line. And then it says, okay, print name, so it checks what's inside of name. Oh, there's Mike, so on the third line it's gonna print Mike. So now let's run it and see. As you can see, it starts with a 2, a 5, and then Mike. So that's how variables work in Python or in any general programming language. But variables are basically, they're just containers that are used to store data. You can store any kind of data. You can store names, you can store numbers, or any kind of number at all. We can try and store a decimal point. It still works just fine. 0.5 or something like that, it still works. These ones are called floating point numbers, which are 0 points or something like that. It will still work out just okay. So here you can come here and say print Z, so Z. Yeah, so it will actually print out whatever was inside of Z, and let's just run it and see. You can see there it still works just fine. So these ones are variables. They're used to store data inside of them, and that's how you make them. You just set the value and then set it to a number. So whatever you set is what will appear there. So yeah, and then what do? I need to comment these things out so that they don't distract us, so that we can focus on other things. And I'm gonna use those comments. That will make them like the program won't do anything because I've commented out everything. So you can see how comments are used. They're used if you want to disable a piece of code so that it shouldn't do anything, you can comment it out. Or maybe if you want to tell the user what the code is doing, or your program or what it's doing, you can comment it out. So yeah, so that's what we can learn about variables. And yeah, they are the very basic building blocks that you guys will be using all the time. You'll be using variables all the time because programs oftentimes need to store something inside of them. Yeah, so that's a very important topic we've covered there, which is all about variables. And now we can move on to other advanced things, and one of that is for example, let's say you want to write a program that for in this case we were actually just setting these values up, like X, setting it to 2, why setting it to 5? What if we want to take user inputs? What if we want to grab data from the user, or whatever the user enters is what we'll take? It's like at this time the program becomes more alive. It's like we want our program to be able to do much more than just printing out the values which we set in here. We want the user to actually talk with the program, yeah. So we want the user to type something. So whenever we want to do that, we'll just it's not too hard. First of all, we need a variable. So let's just say name. Let's say name equals to, and then I'm putting this word called inputs, and notice my text turns blue there. So what that means, it means that that word input is a keyword. It's a very important word in programming, and you can set quotes, and whatever you type in here is what will be shown to the user, and the user will actually get to type something inside of it. So and then so what message do we want? Maybe we can say enter your name. So in this case we're telling the user to enter their names. So whatever name they enter, we are going to store it in a variable that's called what? Name. So we're taking the user input or whatsoever the user entered, and then we're storing it in a variable that's called name. So that's what we're gonna do here, and that's how we're actually gonna get to store something in a variable. Yeah, so that's how it works, and that's the basis of it. We're gonna store this name inside of a variable, and we're gonna be using this almost, sorry guys, as you can see there, I'm storing this value into whatsoever I enter in there. So now I can actually print out what's inside of name. For example, I want to know what's inside of name, and so whatever the user is gonna type in here is what we're gonna display it out. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's see what happens. So if I run this, notice how here it says %. This don't get distracted with it, it's not really useful for our case. But then here it says enter your name, so I can enter my name here, or you can enter your name. It works fine. And then what does it do here? It prints out, or it displays the same name that you entered.